Do you ever wish you could go back and talk to your younger self? Unfortunately, sometimes we have to learn by experience, and life is the best teacher. Today, I want to give you 9 hard truths that I had to learn with age and things that I wish I would have known when I was younger. Hi, I'm Stephanie. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to my channel if you're new. I would take it as the biggest compliment if you would subscribe to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so glad you're joining me again today. All right, you guys, without further ado, let's get into the things that have changed my life. 9. Sometimes you need to take no for an answer. It's not a weakness. It doesn't mean that you're giving up or that you don't have a good work ethic. It doesn't have to mean any of those things. No is in our vocabulary for a reason, and it's okay to accept it. Actually, one hard truth that I really had to come to understand is sometimes no has been the best thing that I've had to accept. Is it always easy? Absolutely not. But we don't always have to have that main character Hollywood energy and say, oh, I'm not going to take no for an answer and keep pushing through. And there have been times that I did keep pushing through when the universe or God was trying to tell me no. I opened the door anyway, and let me tell you that I was miserable when I got to the other side because it wasn't supposed to be something that I was supposed to have. So I learned the hard way that no can be a good word, and we have to not just accept it, but sometimes we need to embrace it. Number 8. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress. I used to think the exact opposite pretty much my entire life. I didn't even think you were making progress unless it was perfect. I didn't understand how much my idea of having to be perfect was slowing me down, giving me anxiety, and delaying the overall productivity of my overall goal. So I thought by being perfect and doing everything perfect, that other people would see me as valuable. Unfortunately, you're never going to be perfect enough, and neither was I. And fixating on perfectionism only deflected from my internal issues and made all my problems worse. 7. They might not ever apologize. For some reason, when I was younger, I really fixated on people telling me they were sorry. Somehow I thought it would bring me a certain type of closure if I heard those words from certain people. Well, first of all, I haven't heard those words from the people that I needed to hear them from. Now I understand that it's not the apology that I'm looking for. What I really needed is for them to be empathetic to my feelings and try and change their behavior. And so what I've had to learn is not only to let go of those feelings, but to let go of those people so that I don't continue to hold animosity and frustration and anger inside of myself. It's just not worth it. 6. If you can't embrace the journey, you're not going to appreciate the destination. One thing I've learned in life is that the journey doesn't ever really end. Once you reach one point, you kind of have to start going to another point, which puts you back onto another journey. When I started YouTube, one of my biggest goals was to get monetized. It still is. I got so obsessed with thinking about that every single day. What are my numbers? What is this result of the analytics today? How many subscribers do I have? And then I realized, well, once I do get monetized, how are things going to be different? If I don't thoroughly enjoy and embrace the whole video making process, content creation, editing, all of the things, how is that going to change when I get monetized? I guess unless I just want to put my channel on standby and not create anymore, which is not what I want to do. What I want to do is to continue to grow. And in order to continue to grow, I have to continue to create. So if I don't enjoy the whole process of the journey, then the destination of monetization really doesn't matter. So now I'm embracing it, and it's so much more enjoyable of a process. And I've learned to try to do this with all my journeys in life. 5, just sit still. Not everything requires a response or reaction. You don't always have to be moving and hustling and going. I know we place a huge amount of emphasis on that as a society, but it is okay to stop. I learned about myself that I had to always be accomplishing and doing, and the perfectionism, which I talked about earlier. All of that was a trauma and fear response. The fear was that I would not be accepted and continue to feel rejected. So I had to go and do all these things. These are the ways that we prove ourselves. And I feel like now it's just enhanced now that we have social media and we kind of exploit all of our tangible things for the world to see. But while I was doing all that hustling and all of that going, I wasn't dealing with any of the feelings that were traumatizing me and making me react like that. And it all kind of snowballed. And now I'm left to deal with all those internal issues. But I'm thankful that eventually I saw that and now I'm trying to fix it. So it's okay to stop, sit, listen in order to proceed forward in a less chaotic, more peaceful way. 4, there's no oppression Olympics. There is always somebody who has had a much harder life than what I have had or you have had. There was a lot of my life when I spent time comparing my situation and telling myself, oh, well, you didn't have this advantage. You were abandoned. You were adopted. My first child died. I was a child bride. I could go on and on and on, and I know you could too. And I could use all those reasons as excuses, but I'm not going to do that anymore. And I'm also not going to go back and forth with anybody as to who has the worst situation. The reality is, none of us have walked in each other's shoes. And until we've experienced something firsthand, we genuinely don't know how it feels. So that is not a topic of conversation that I'm willing to entertain anymore. And I spent a lot of my life participating in that game. 3, they are never going to like you. It doesn't matter how much I shape-shifted myself or watered myself down in any situation that I can think of in the entirety of my life that made somebody genuinely like me. And if they did like me better, I disliked myself. Why? Because I had changed so much of who I was to be liked by them. So what I learned is to not just go where I'm tolerated, but go where I'm celebrated. What I wish I could have known so much sooner is those people that I was spending all this time and energy trying to be liked and loved by were never going to truly appreciate me. Meanwhile, there were groups of people out there that were ready to love me, that were ready to open their arms and embrace me. And that's one of the things that I love so much about being here and being with all of you and having YouTube is that I know that my vibe attracts my tribe. And now you guys are part of it. And here's the thing. Not everybody likes me. People comment that they don't like my voice. I'm annoying. I make crazy hand gestures, and that's okay. I don't spend any time at all even thinking about those people or thinking to myself, oh, well, let me try to lower my voice register a little bit more so, I can be watchable for those people. No, just turn me off. If I'm not for you, that's okay. But I am for some of you. And I am so thankful for that. And now I know that it is okay if certain people don't like me because they're never going to. And instead of trying to waste any of my life focusing on that, I'm just going to fixate on my village. And thank you guys for being a part of that. Number 2, none of us make it out of here alive. We all die at the end of this thing called life. And the older I get, And the closer I get to finality, the more I embrace and understand how beautiful that is. And that wasn't something, even though when I was younger, I did have a lot of death in my life. I didn't understand it to the capacity that I do now. And I didn't see how important it is because we die and we don't have an infinite amount of time on this earth. This day is so important. This hour, this minute, this second, because we'll never ever get it back. Today is irreplaceable, and that's not something that I focused on back then. Now, because I think about it, I live my life very differently. Number one, my favorite. You are the one you've been waiting for. You don't need to be rescued. There's nothing wrong with you. You are the chooser. We do not need another person to complete us. We are not incomplete. For far too long, I made a list of qualities that I wanted in my future partner. I watched all the Disney movies and saw how the poor damsel in distress princess needed to be scooped up and saved by a prince because that was the only way she was going to live the life that she needed to live. But the reality is, no one's capable of being perfect and giving us everything we need. Those are really too high of expectations, and that's a lot of times why I think relationships fail, and they fail in a bad way. Find self-happiness. The only person that we can control is us. So always looking and always searching for somebody else to be the person that we need is going to be never ending. One of my very favorite movies is The Wizard of Oz. One of the reasons is because I'm in Kansas and that's where Dorothy was from. But I don't know if you remember the movie very much or not, but my favorite thing about that movie is that she goes looking for all of these sources to give her the knowledge to get back home. And she finds that the wizard ends up basically being this fraudulent person that doesn't hold any power whatsoever. But she herself had the power the whole time. She just had to believe it. And now, at this point in my life, I believe that I have the power, and that's the true way to get who and what I need and want. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I definitely enjoyed making it and sharing all of my life lessons with you and hard truths. Is there anything that I said that you'd like to elaborate on, or maybe something that I missed that you feel like you could give me some insight? I absolutely love your comments, and I would be really sad if you left me here all by my lonesome to talk about my life lessons by myself. Again, I would take it as the biggest compliment ever if you would subscribe to my channel, and I am very much looking forward to my future video with you. All right, thanks for letting me be real while I heal. Peace and love, everybody.